and welcome to Project Quantum Leap, the podcast. I'm Christina.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Sydney. 3 fans, 3 generations, 3 unique perspectives, 1 leap back into a television phenomenon.
Today, we follow Ben as he almost dies another day.
So, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the episode by now, you should probably go watch it before listening to this.
Things happen. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
All the things.
All of it. Little bit of housekeeping. We're back from our mini vacation. The holidays kind of threw us off. There are 3 past episodes that are audio only up on our YouTube, and more on the way. Hopefully by the end of the season, everything will be all caught up. And the hectic schedules also kept us from doing a Christmas episode. But if you check out the Quantum Leap podcast after show, you can hear me in their yearly Little Miracle episode. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I was very happy to be invited. Shout out this episode once again, Al's Place. Thank you for all you do and all the great information. It's so much easier than just scouring it from all over the web.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you for that. Okay, so before we get into this episode, I just wanted to bring up the loss that fandom had in Matt Dale. He was a big part of the Quantum Leap fandom and other fandoms. You know, we had a lot of Doctor Who fans coming out and sending their condolences as well. Wanted to send our condolences over to the Quantum Leap podcast, his friends and his family, and say that we're sorry for the loss. And the Quantum Leap podcast did put on a very nice tribute, and I will go ahead and put that link in the show notes.
Deborah Pratt had some amazing words to say as well.
She really did. The whole cast was just lovely.
Yeah.
One thing I want to take note of this fandom is how welcoming they were to us as the newcomers. There are so many fandoms where that's not possible, right? That like the people who are already talking about it are the ones who are going to be the ones that are talking about it, and they don't lightly welcome people into the circle of not even public figures. Like, we're not like public figures or anything, but
It's
just
gatekeeping.
Yeah. And that has not only not happened at all, but we've had the other podcasts reach out to us to try to involve us in things. And, Matt Dale, part of that whole community is just, it's such a loss, and it's a wonderful community to have and to have been welcomed into, even though I didn't get to know him that well. It was just that little bit of time was just a glimpse, kind of.
It was very clear what a cool person and a welcoming person and a good heart he was.
Yeah, and it just, I think it speaks volumes, like the type of community Quantum Leap has that he helped cultivate.
Yeah, Matt Dale is the type of fan we should all be.
I was going to say something very similar to that. I feel like we could all follow in those footsteps. He set a really good example for fans.
Yes.
So yeah, check out those check out the links that Christina's going to drop, and pay your respects and be part of that that tribute that has been left.
And on that note, back to our episode, we are talking about May of 1961 is our leap date. Our leap location is Gaza and Cairo. Oh, not Gaza. Oh my goodness, Giza. I'm so used to looking at Instagram all day. Good Lord.
Current events have made their way into our minds.
You're right.
Which we will not be commenting on in the slightest in this episode, by the way.
Maybe I should just start over. Our leap date is May of 1961. Our leap location is Giza and Cairo in Egypt. Our leapee is Michael Allison. And separate note, he's supposed to be British, and I kind of wish Ben had done a British accent, but that's just my opinion. Episode synopsis is that when Ben leaps as far as Egypt into an undercover CIA agent caught in a dangerous game of international espionage, he must move quickly to save a woman's life. And I like this episode.
It was a fun one.
It was exciting.
It's very Bondy, obviously.
The return of Hannah.
Yeah.
I like how I'm picturing Hannah going up to random people who may
Yeah,
have a
for
Ben
6
like
years.
quality. Yeah.
Are you Ben?
And they're like, who
Hello,
are you,
Ben?
lady?
Ben.
I think that's the cutest.
I think I called it the very first time, the very first episode she was in,
Yeah.
when she was in the diner. I said, I bet we'll see her again. I think I remember saying something like that, and man, was I right. And she's a
Yeah.
very intriguing character. It's like a new mechanic for the quantum leap accelerator in the show that we've not seen really before, how it's centering the leaps around someone else's influence.
You know what? Since we're on the Hannah thing, I noticed Addison, and this is gonna be really confusing because he's Michael Allison and
Yeah.
she's Addison, and I'm probably gonna mix that up at some
Absolutely.
point. Um, you saw that little hint of jealousy, and I was like, that is how I know she wasn't ready to move on.
Yeah, because if
Oh,
she
yeah.
was, that wouldn't be happening.
I think she
Yep.
maybe wanted to be ready, but I don't think she was.
She's trying to convince herself, clearly.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously that time, the scene where she's talking to Magic and she catches herself in saying, I want to be happy. No, I am happy. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Who are you trying to convince there, buddy?
The interesting dynamic being like for her, it was always kind of safe because like she can move on, but how could Ben ever really like form a relationship? And then the accelerator is like, ha ha ha, we'll show you, Addison.
Yeah. I got this.
Yeah.
Ziggy's a
So
matchmaker.
now that sort of like I can't think of the word, but that the risk is there for her as well.
Yeah,
Like it was a low risk for her before because how could Ben find someone while he's sleeping all the time?
right.
But now the risk
Well,
is there.
the risk is there, but you did notice, I mean, he'll always love Addison. No matter which
Mhm.
way the relationship goes, he will always love Addison. But Hannah told him at least twice in this episode that she loved him.
Yep.
Yeah, he
He
didn't
has
say it
not said it
back.
back.
No.
I'm sure the feeling is there.
But how does he
He's
know how to say that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
already.
I don't think he's ready
She's had
either.
way more time to process her feelings about Ben than he has had to process about her.
Yep.
Because for him,
Yes.
it's been weeks or a couple months at most, and for her, it's been 6 years.
Yep.
It's almost like how Addison had 3 years. She buried him, and for him it was like a couple minutes.
Yeah,
Yep.
he has to live his life in the fast lane, apparently.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I really hope we see more of her. I want them to play with this dynamic more.
There's no way we're not going to. Like,
I love Hannah.
especially
She's
since he went out of his way to be like, hey, promise I will look
all
for
like
you in my
basically
next life.
anytime he leaps somewhere that's within her lifetime, he'll probably be searching her out, I hope.
Yeah.
Which
What would
that is an
Will he
unsaid
meet her as
declaration
an
of
old
love.
lady?
Yeah. Well, what I find interesting is what if his next leap was like 1959, 2 years before this one?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's interesting. They're
Yeah.
gonna do
Then
they're
her
totally-
encounters with him will then be chronically out of order.
You know, there was actually a book, The Time Traveler's Wife, where the guy literally like traveled at different points in this woman's life,
Mhm.
and for her, their relationship was out of order
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
because
basically. Didn't they
yeah,
make that into a movie?
they
Yeah,
did. The
that's
movie
yeah.
sucked.
Okay, I know I'd heard of it, so I think that's why I heard of
Yeah.
it. but I've
I
never seen it.
the book was good. I mean, there's some aspects to it that I thought were a little weird and creepy, but for the most part, the story was a good one, in my opinion. And it was interesting. Like, how freaking confusing is that? Like, the first time she's meeting him is not the first time he's meeting her.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Um, Another thing I wanted to bring up, just kind of out of nowhere, but it was up here, so I wanted to get it out of the way. You can see the picture on the screen, right? That phone.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes.
First off, from a prop standpoint, this phone is broken. The dialer, the rotary dial,
Oh, that's
um,
jacked up.
yeah, it should be resting. The gap should be,
Where the little thingy is, because
yeah,
that's where
that
you.
that first circle on top of the little finger catch should be below it. But aside from that, I want to show you something.
Uh-oh.
I literally have that phone. I'm not
Oh,
even
yeah.
fucking kidding.
I knew that was why.
Hold on, now
We
I
can't
gotta,
see it.
yeah, I gotta get rid of my background thing.
That's hilarious.
I saw it the first time I watched this twice. The first time I saw it, I was like, "What? No way!"
Oh my God.
Yep. That's the one.
That's
And
fun.
mine, as you can see,
Is
works.
correct.
But
Do you
yeah,
have a
so
landline you can use it with?
I have an adapter for my cell phone.
That's
It
cool.
Bluetooth connects and can operate a normal RJ11, which is a phone line cable
How
device.
about that, Ben
So
Song?
when I have it hooked up, when my cell phone rings, it'll actually send the ringer to this, and it'll
That's
just
cool.
function completely. You can even call out with it. So
That's
it
cool.
essentially makes your cell phone a landline capable device. But I had the picture up, so I wanted to get that out of the way, and I couldn't believe it. I was just like, holy crap. The only thing is it like a different year release is the dome is different.
Oh, just a little.
And mine's not shiny anymore, but
Yeah.
yeah, they have like a ribbed dome. Actually, it looks like mine might be missing a cover. Like it might be a piece that goes over it, but that's the only part that's different. It has the same paisley sort of design all over it and everything.
That reminds me of, here's our first derail. I was watching Stranger Things with Emily,
Hmm.
and uh Dustin uses the pillowcase to cover up the Demodog.
Hmm.
And I said, Emily, it's that pink one with like the rainbow and the butterflies. I go, I have that pillowcase. And I went to I went to the closet and I pulled it out. We still have that stupid pillowcase from the 80s.
That's hilarious.
I mean, we also know that there's a Dark Crystal poster in the Stranger Things as well. And
It's in
well,
Dustin's room, right?
It would have to be.
no, it's I
I
think
thought
it
he was
was
the.
I think it was in Will's room.
Oh,
Um,
no, that does make more sense.
Okay,
Or the
yeah.
basement, probably.
yeah.
Will's
Um,
basement.
I think it was Will's room though.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, point being, like, hey,
Well, if they live in a mobile home, couldn't
we
have been
know
a
I got
basement.
that.
Didn't Mike have a basement?
Yeah. So it was either in Mike's basement or Will's bedroom, but yeah, I think you're right. It's Will's bedroom.
Or Mike's bedroom. Either way, it was in there. And
Yeah.
It was
and
there. It was there.
we know I have several Dark Crystal posters.
Mhm. There is another thing I wanted to bring up since we're in the realm of prop errors, but I don't know if this one will work because it's from Peacock.
Oh,
Can you see the actual video footage or just the title?
I just see the title.
Yeah, okay. I tried to take a screenshot and it wouldn't, so the bug that he is given from the staff guy. I can't remember his name.
Blue
His
Diamond Phillips.
yeah. um was not period accurate.
I
That was
thought
a
it looked
it was a modern circuit board with a modern oscillator. And the funny thing is the microphone that they have on there, it might be a real microphone, but it's so much bigger than it needs to be. That's almost a period accurate microphone. And it's like as big as the entire integrated circuit. It looks like it might be a Bluetooth adapter that someone shoved a red light onto.
You know what? It's almost like I think it was Fellow Travelers when he was doing the talking in his sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Like that technology didn't exist back then.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, it was the CIA, but I don't
mhm.
think they were that far ahead of everybody else.
Oh yeah, I looked it up. This was 2 years after the first integrated chip was ever made.
Yeah,
So, and this is like a very small 0805 pitch, which is a type of pitch on circuits. Um, Surface mount integrated circuit, and it's way too small. Not to mention the printed circuit board, like the colors kind of wrong. They didn't have
yeah.
that color on circuit boards back then. I'm
Now
sure it had to do with dyes, but
you know now that the writers are like, well, crap, Andrew's paying attention.
yeah. Sorry. And it doesn't make any difference to the story, but I like to put it out because I can.
It's funny. It's
Yeah.
fun, and I mean, I
I
do
would
the
love to
same
know who
with.
made the prop though, because I actually kind of do want to know what it actually is because it looks, well, actually, I don't see. Usually they have like a flat antenna printed onto the circuit. It could be on the underside, but it almost looks like
Maybe.
it could be like a small Bluetooth adapter, like you would use to modify something.
Yeah.
But
I yeah, I like to do that too
or
with the old series. I find things that just don't quite fit right.
or the thing that looks like a microphone because it has like a little mesh on it could just be an
Yeah.
ultrasonic sensor. It could just be an ultrasonic sensor board.
And it's transmitting to that ancient ass tape player.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and then like it has like a surface mount resistor on the top that's way too small. They didn't have those back then. Not that size, but it was fun to notice that. Just like it was fun to notice my phone.
Both very interesting observations.
Yeah. I had no reason to bring those up other than that I could. Not a gripe, not a problem.
It's fun.
Yep. Um, Now back to the actual what we're thinking about it. Um, Aside from Hannah, the whole espionage thing was just fun to watch Ben enjoy. Like it got
Until he
serious.
didn't.
Yeah, it got serious, but just the concept of him being James Bond, basically.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny how he's like, wow, this is so cool. And Addison's like, this is, you cannot do this. This is
Yeah,
not who you are.
your personality type is not for this.
And it's not really like Ben is, he's like this sweet puppy dog.
It's too
I,
honest.
yeah, I can't imagine him actually being some kind of super spy because he'd be like, oh no, wait, no man, no, I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm sorry.
Now, interesting thing, I was actually just wondering, is this is 8 years after the first James Bond book was written, but 1 year before the first movie was ever produced. So they could
Interesting.
have very likely been filming James Bond at the time this was happening in Ben's Leap.
Is that a Sean Connery?
Interesting.
I don't
Yeah,
know the James Bond movies very well.
Are you talking about the first? The
yeah,
first
Sean
ones?
Connery was
Yeah,
the
Sean
first
Connery
Bond
was the very
on
original.
film.
Yep.
Okay.
Doctor No, 1962.
Wow.
Yep.
There was another I know I've mentioned Timeless before. They did an episode with James Bond. Well, the guy who wrote James Bond. That's kind of
Guy's name.
interesting. What was his name?
Ian Fleming.
Ian Fleming. So they did an episode where they almost screwed up his mission. I don't remember it completely because it was like at least 5 years ago that I watched this episode. But um Sean McGuire from Once Upon a Time, he played Ian Fleming. And it was funny because he kept hitting on the female traveler. And the guys were geeking out. They're like, oh my God, James Bond loves you. Yeah.
I have only seen 2 James Bond movies. The one every man my age has seen, which is GoldenEye with Pierce Brosnan. What was the one we watched, Sydney?
We
Timothy
watched,
Dalton?
yeah, we watched one of the Timothy. No, yes, we watched the Timothy Dalton one, and shoot,
We
what
got
was
it on
it?
Laserdisc.
What
Nice.
happened in that one? Ugh. He had sex with a lot of ladies. There was skiing. That really doesn't narrow it down.
James Bond,
Oh,
sex
it
with a
was the
lot of
one. Okay,
ladies.
okay. It was the one with Grace Jones. Look that up. It had Grace Jones and Dolph Lundgren.
A View to
It
Kill.
License to
Yeah, it was
Kill?
View to a
Oh,
Kill.
it
Yes,
was View to
because it was
Kill.
the Duran Duran one. It was the
Yeah.
Dance into the Fire. That one.
Yep.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, that's the Duran Duran one.
So those are the 2 James Bond movies I've seen.
I've seen bits and pieces of the Sean Connery ones because of mom.
I'm sure I've seen bits and pieces too. Yeah, they were fun. I
Okay.
have a bunch more I haven't seen yet. Like, I mean, I physically own them on VHS or Laserdisc.
Do you remember that crazy Saturday morning cartoon show, James Bond Jr.?
No,
You don't remember that?
I don't remember that one at all.
Oh my God. It was so bad. It was so bad.
It looks bad.
Did you Google it already?
Yeah, it looks like a cash cow for toy selling.
Yeah. We all watched it. You were little though.
As I don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
Um, we saw a trailer for that new Ghostbusters.
I have not seen that yet.
The trailer for it?
Yeah,
No.
the
You haven't seen the trailer yet, though, Christina?
I don't think so.
Afterlife
No, not Afterlife. Afterlife is
or
the
Frozen
other one. This
something.
is the Frozen Wasteland. The ghosts never bothered me anyway. Let It
No, I
Ghost,
haven't
I
I
think they're
haven't seen that
calling
one
it.
yet.
Let it
It-
ghost.
I think Let It Ghost. Stop it. I think they forgot that Ghostbusters was a comedy. That's what it looks like in the trailer. It like looks so serious.
Yeah,
I'm
except
just
for
like,
then they have
except for the
Patton
one moment with Paul
Oswalt and
Rudd.
Paul Rudd both being all like, "Whoa."
Yeah. So I don't know. But Ernie Hudson's in it again, so that's good.
It looks
I mean,
interesting.
I'm happy about that.
He's the
I'm happy.
only remaining Ghostbuster that's not cuckoo.
In
That
real
we
life, you
know
mean.
of. Maybe he's just good at hiding it.
He'd be very good at hiding it compared to Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. Holy crap. Poor
Yeah.
Egon.
Yeah.
I can't
Poor
remember his real
Egon.
name.
Harold
Harold
Ramis.
Ramis. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And I did like that we had Magic in this episode. He is
hmm
obviously done filming Ghostbusters, so he's back with us
He
on this
Not
also,
side of
he wasn't in
the
it that much,
universe.
but just good to know that he's there.
I mean, doing that daddy magic thing, or magic daddy, or whatever we call him.
No, don't call him Magic Daddy.
someone does.
I'm sure a lot of people do.
Yeah,
Magic daddy.
Beth definitely does.
But
Right? Is that her name?
his
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
wait, what?
Beth.
Beth. I said
Oh,
Beth,
Beth.
definitely does.
Oh God. I just have like the worst mental image in my head.
The worst? There could be a lot worse.
Yeah, there could be worse. But I did like that scene between him and Addison.
Very much.
It was
Yeah,
very
being the dad of the group as is his role.
yeah.
And he dropped some
Like-
really good truth bombs too. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
as usual. But probably my favorite line in the whole episode was him talking about how you have to be true to your present. That whole part about like not just like chasing a hypothetical future so much, but being true to what makes the most sense to you right now. And I think that's really good therapy advice. And also I think worked really well in conjunction with Ben's lesson of not looking backwards in the leaps, but looking like
Forward to the next
moving
leap.
forward. But yeah, he's looking forward, but he's also enjoying what like the good that happens in the
Yeah.
present leap instead of just thinking of it as like the next thing to get through.
Yeah. And it is really nice, I think, that he has Hannah, like, just, am I gonna see her this leap? What's, stuff like that. Sam never had someone like that in his leaps. And it's
I
just
mean,
like,
he had a lot of romances.
yeah, but he never had that one person that knew who he was. Well,
Yeah.
he did have one, but she was only one episode. But, that person who would bump into him 5 years down the road and, remember him and know who he was and his struggles, what he was doing. He didn't really have that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, that Hannah is a new dynamic to the formula,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. And I'm excited to see how they want to develop it or nip it in the bud. Who knows?
What do you think about how Magic was telling Addison, look, don't chase the hypotheticals, things like that. Well, Ben is a hypothetical. He
Yeah.
might never return home. And then Tom drops a singer lap saying he knows
Yeah.
how to bring Ben home.
All the conflict.
So, and then she's already seen the ring, but we know that she's not over Ben.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
Like,
Ben and Addison they didn't break up because the relationship wasn't working. They
right.
didn't break up because there were fundamental issues in their partnership. We know that their partnership was solid. In fact, it was at the best, like, other than the fact that they couldn't physically be together, their like
Yeah.
partnership was the most solid it had ever been in their entire relationship before they lost Ben and she thought he died. So,
Right.
if not for that whole thing where she had to like accept the fact that he was gone, they would have been awesome and very likely would never have broken up due to, I don't want to say due to natural causes, but like due to causes that would circumstances that would normally break people up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we know their relationship was in a good place.
Now, the
And
other
Yeah.
thing is, what if that ring was just his, deceased wife's ring?
I think she would have known that.
why would he keep that in a drawer in the kitchen?
Why would he keep the ring he's going to use to propose to her in a drawer in the kitchen?
That's
Because he didn't think
also
she
a
was
good
going to
point.
look in a drawer in the kitchen, which I don't, if he thought that, I think that's dumb because obviously she knows her way around the kitchen.
Yeah.
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 It's not like she's some kind of bad cook who is making mac and cheese.
She's teaching him how to cook stuff.
Yeah.
Also, let's not ignore the fact that that whole thing where she's showing him how to cook the thing, and the whole entire thing is about, it's not about what spices you use, it's about when. Timing is everything. And we're like, yes, we see what you did there, writers. Timing is everything, especially when stuff is getting spicy. It's all about timing.
And
Yeah.
Washington has great timing.
What does?
Washington calling up Tom
Oh,
right before things got too spicy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again, because they probably did get spicy before.
Yeah.
And then going back to I just don't trust Tom.
I
It
don't either.
almost feels like a convenient, like, oh, I can basically get myself off the hook by basically giving Ben back to Addison, and then I can get whatever I want out of this project, whatever he's actually after, which
He's
I
after
still think he's after something.
Yeah, very likely.
Like,
Like,
that was, as they said, an old DARPA project. So how has no one put together that this is how to get Ben home? How would somebody not on the Quantum Leap team know that would relate to Quantum Leap in such a way that it could get Ben home?
Yeah.
maybe it was something that had gotten scrapped. and was sitting in a pile waiting to be discovered. Maybe it hadn't been cracked completely, but what if he's just been sitting on it? What
Yeah,
if he
that's what I was
had it the whole
saying
time? Yeah. What if
about
Washington had
this
nothing
is
to
the
do
way to
with it?
get off the hook, basically.
Yeah.
And then to use quantum leap for whatever he's actually trying to use it for.
Because he's got everyone's trust now.
Mm-hmm. Even Ben's,
Yeah.
who almost convincingly said he likes Tom.
Right? He and
Okay.
Addison, she was like okay with Hannah, but you could tell that she wasn't completely like,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, okay, this is a good partner for you.
I have a note about that I made that I think is really important to talk about because it's something I really appreciate. And as I was watching it both times, I remember thinking, like, I like that they're doing this. It is a very common pitfall, or I don't know if it's pitfall, but like it's a cliche for like, okay, here's this couple that's broken up, and then the guy gets a new lady friend, and the ex-girlfriend is going to be all catty and bitter and mean needlessly, find reasons to like crap on the new lady or like diss on them or whatever, and it's like turning the two like female characters against each other just
Neither
for,
of them did that.
yeah, like just for fabricated drama, like manufactured bitchiness. And not only would that be incredibly out of character for Addison, but also like it's just, that's a very tired trope that a lot of things still use. And I think like as a woman socially, like it's also kind of a thing that's still viewed as kind of a normal behavior to be like, oh, I have to shit talk my ex's new person just because, like, which is incredibly toxic behavior. And it would be really disappointing if Addison had partaken in that sort of behavior. And I thought it was really, really refreshing that not only was she not like that, in fact, she was really nice and supportive and like acknowledges the ways in which this is actually a good fit for Ben, and that she likes her, because it makes sense that Ben would go after somebody who would get along with Addison because, well, he has taste and like a type, and not necessarily a type, but like obviously you're gonna, like I mentioned before, his relationship with Addison didn't break up because they were incompatible in any way. They're still very compatible. They're still highly compatible.
Clearly, outspoken, strong blonde women are his type.
Well,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, he does seem to go after blondes
Who are,
who,
yeah, smart and resourceful,
yeah.
uh, like selfless to an extent as well, like willing to look out for others and like put
Right.
their team first and like make the right choice, even if it's not the selfish move. Like, yeah, that's, there is a type for sure, but the point is, like, it makes sense that from an objective standpoint somebody like Hannah and Addison would get along swimmingly. They're very like similar minded people who would work together really well. And so the fact that Addison does not in any way get catty or petty, like even like she gets uncomfortable because it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable, but she doesn't take that as an excuse to be mean or petty.
Yeah.
She
Like
doesn't go the petty route in any way.
there is always going to be that, especially in the way their relationship ended. There will always be a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of
Yeah, but that's not
um
Hannah's fault.
no, it's not Hannah's fault. It's
Right.
not Addison's fault. And
Yeah.
it's not Ben's fault. Well, maybe it's a little Ben's fault. He is the one that leaked. But you're right. She was never mean. You could see it in her face. She was upset, but she was never mean. She was very helpful. And even when she thought Ben was stuck in time, she was like, well, maybe he'll be he'll be okay. You know, it sucked for her, but she understood that Ben would be okay because he's with somebody that she knows he loves, somebody who she knows is good for him.
Yeah, and
Sorry,
He
you just
straight up
disappeared.
disappeared.
He just
Oh, wait. Oh, I
you
just
look like you dove off screen. Like, yeah, good point. Bye.
Well, and then when he was petting the cat, it just looked like he was touching the lights.
was touching the testicles of the sky.
The testicles of what guy?
Not this guy, the
That guy.
guy. But yeah, that also might relate to like Addison's feeling of basically also not having to confront the issue as well.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if that's not like a conscious decision she's making, like how she said in the talk with Magic that she's letting herself off the hook basically. But at the same time, like Ben's whole life is Quantum Leap, Addison. He doesn't have any other family that we are aware of. It was just his mom and him, and the mom passed away. It almost is, truthfully, a good way forward for Ben if he fell in love with Hannah. Like he could do a lot of good in the past, even not
Yeah.
leaping,
Yeah.
but just choosing somewhere and deciding to stay there.
At the end of the day, even if he ends up coming home and lives happily ever after with Addison, meeting Hannah was incredibly good for him in that it made him a better leaper. It gave his mission like purpose and clarity. So it wasn't just like, I'm just doing this until I get out. It
Yeah.
was like, I'm making the world better. And worst case scenario, even if I'm stuck here, I'm still put on this earth to help people and to make the world better somehow. And he can do that no matter what. And thanks to Hannah, he like can see that. And he also like is the whole reason why Hannah's life ended up being really good. So like even if it doesn't work out so that they end up together, they've still already improved each other's lives and the world by knowing each
Yeah.
other in the
Yeah.
little bits that they did.
And I did want to bring something up. I didn't notice us seeing who Ben looked like this week.
Yeah, he looks at his ID in the very beginning of the
Did
episode.
he? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? You're right. But also,
We see a picture, but not a reflection.
Yeah.
Hannah might never
Right? I thought about that
see
too.
what Ben looks like.
She has no idea what Ben looks like.
She's with all these other people, and she doesn't know she's got this gorgeous man hiding behind all this facade.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Can you imagine if it turned out he was like he looked like Danny DeVito under there or something? She has no idea. Sorry, Danny, if you're a listener. I'm not a sponsor. No, no
you're
hate on
beautiful to
Danny
someone.
DeVito, but come on, you're no Raymond Lee. Let's face it.
No, not even close. Yeah, like well, okay. What in the episode where they had their first kiss? Wasn't he some like old dude?
Yeah.
He was,
And then,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
so like, but I think if she ever saw him, she would know it
She would
was him.
just know.
Yeah.
I think she knows him so well.
She always knows
Just
him like otherwise though. Like she knew him from one glance in this episode. Like I think
yeah,
I'm gonna go ask that guy if it's Ben.
yeah. So I think, if she ever had the chance to meet him, she would know without him even having to tell her who he was.
Yeah.
Now, if Quantum Leap does like fairy tale sort of ending for all these characters, it
It better, because after they took my Dr. Sam Beckett never returning home.
Mhm.
um it almost like my thing that I would say they would probably do is they would probably figure out a way for Hannah to actually get to his present day.
Yeah.
I
That would be the fairy tale happy ending.
I think she could very well set up to be. I mean, she's in love with the time traveler. What better motivation would you have than to figure out a way to
To
time
time
travel to
travel.
be with them?
Yeah.
You know? And we saw in the original series, Mo almost had it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so stupid.
What?
What?
Oh my God.
Say it.
Her name's going to be in that DARPA project.
In the what?
That old DARPA project.
Oh, maybe.
Help me
Oh
with
no, I'm
context.
sure you're right.
She's
I'm
going to
sure you're
be
right.
I
that
knew that.
information that Tom gave Addison. Hannah's going to be the one who fucking wrote it. I know it
That's why it never showed up
Oh.
before.
because it didn't
That-
exist.
That would make perfect sense. You know what?
I can't believe that just hit me right now.
I'm on board with this. I'm on board with this theory, and
Ben's
100%.
selfless actions, just helping people for no reason other than to help them, is what causes the events for Hannah to write the things that fixes his problem to get him home.
Now, if she does that for Ben, can they do that for Sam?
Right?
Um,
Or is Sam even alive still? I mean, he's got to be really old by now.
yeah, I mean, or if, like, shoot, I don't remember which character suggested that that might have been what happened to Sam, or if that's just a
He
thought
just
we had. That
took his
he,
roots somewhere.
yeah, like if he just ended up, like obviously he ended up somewhere, and if he just
Yeah.
lived his life happily.
I mean, we think of Sam as this like okay, so Sam, similar to Ben, used to leap into other bodies, but he
Mhm.
kind of transcends that and somehow he starts transporting his own body through time.
Yes.
Who's to say he couldn't just will the quantum accelerator to just leave him somewhere?
Well, I mean, in the final episode, Al, the bartender, did say it was Sam controlling the leaps, even though Sam didn't believe him.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Like he's had many
yeah.
years. Maybe he leveled up again.
Yeah. And I mean, Ben doesn't, Sam believed it was like God, time, or fate. Ben's an atheist.
And
So
and
he
leaps are
might come,
centering around something that's connecting him.
yeah. So
It
he
does
might
seem to
come to that
think,
conclusion a little bit sooner than Sam did.
yeah,
Like, and might actually believe it. Like,
and
oh
learn
yeah,
how
maybe
to
it is me.
actually control the leap.
Yeah.
Or Hannah will just save the day, and then they'll have to figure out how to get Hannah and Ben together if Addison and Tom end up working out.
I mean, whether Ben ends up with Addison or Ben ends up with Hannah,
Both good options.
the babies would be adorable either way.
Mhm.
They're both
Not that
great
I'm
women.
not that I'm planning these fan fictions ahead of time, but yeah. No, I mean they're both really strong. I could see either one ending up
Now,
with Ben.
I don't want to like go too far into fan fiction, but Hannah did say the three of us make a great team.
I was thinking it, and I was like, how can I say this in a way that's not like being
I was the
gross
Six
and
Sister
fully
Wives.
objectifying these
Yeah.
very complex and much more than their hotness females. However,
By making it a joke and not thinking that is a serious option.
yeah,
But
but
I mean,
however, I can't help
it's
but
not just
like,
it's not just a guy with two hot females. Ben's hot too.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but I just mean
They're
from the
all hot.
perspective of like when Hannah said that, if Ben thought like, hey, there's a solution to my problem.
I
Was
don't
that Ortega tacos?
No
Why not
quiero los
both?
dos.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think Ben is a pig, but he is a man. I'm not going to say that the thought probably hasn't crossed his mind. I mean,
Listen, the thought crossed my mind when I saw Jen in that little outfit. Good lord. It took my actual breath away two whole times, because I forgot, because so much time had elapsed between rewatching the episode that we watched it again, and I was like, it's a good thing they only show that like one time.
right?
Very distracting. I was like, wait, what's happening? What's happening, Jen? Ugh, I just love her.
Jen is amazing.
She's so hot. She makes me stupid.
Look, the show is full of a bunch of hot people.
That's true. They knew
I
what they were
mean,
doing.
okay, but is
And
that
no Danny
completely
DeVito
accurate? Is that completely accurate? I mean, a lot of these people were nerds in high school. They're not allowed to be that hot. They're
Listen, it
supposed to be
is
cute and adorable and nerdy.
2024. We can know for sure now that and admit and embrace the fact that nerds are actually hot. The whole
Well,
nerds
okay.
aren't hot people thing, old, outdated. It has gone the way of the dodo and sexism and racism. It's just not a thing people should still think anymore in this
No,
day and age that nerds
I
can't be hot.
know.
They are.
I find, but I mean, I always found nerd because I am a nerd. I always found nerds to be quirky and adorable, and I mean, we do have some hot nerds that I look at sometimes.
Beneath every Clark Kent is a sexy superhero just a shirt's rip away. Like
Raymond
underneath
Lee
all of
for
us.
Superman.
Wait, what?
Raymond Lee for Superman.
Dude. Yes.
Do you know how amazing that would be?
I would love an Asian Superman. Are you kidding me right now? That'd be
Right?
incredible.
I'm like, because he's like this adorable little nerd, but he's hot.
Yeah.
He's pretty ripped too.
Yeah, he is.
He is pretty
He took out
ripped.
that huge fucking East Germany guy with like
Yeah.
3 punches.
And Addison was like, hey, I taught you that. Like,
Yeah.
I love that part, by the way. I loved it both times I watched it. How
Yeah.
Just a nice
brought it
callback
back
to the
full
first
circle.
episode.
Yep.
Was that
Second.
the first or was that
Second
the
episode.
third?
One
Well, I
of the
mean,
first
like-
episodes.
Yeah, because that's like the
That
first
was the
leap.
boxing episode, right?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
No, that is the second episode because the first one was the car. You're a driver,
No, the
man.
second-
Oh, yeah.
Get away.
The
driver.
second was the astronaut episode.
All right, so third episode.
Listen.
1, 2.
I work at Disneyland. It's not my job to remember things.
I forgot. I'm supposed to be filing this all away and locking it into my memory.
What are you doing?
Andrew's doing karate chops.
There's a gnat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. So okay, Hot Nerds 2024.
Yep. We didn't write questions. Oh, did we?
Yeah, Christina
Oh,
did.
yeah, we did. Oh, look
Christina
at that.
thought of one.
I was gonna say, you can ask, who's your favorite hot nerd?
We haven't talked about Layla at all, though. We haven't
Yeah,
actually
you
talked
know-
about.
yeah,
Yeah,
We
Yeah,
haven't.
and she was awesome.
it's
Okay,
pretty cool.
first
um,
I thought she was gonna double cross him, and then I'm like, no, she's not gonna double cross him. And then I thought Lou Diamond Phillips was gonna double cross him.
Dude, I love
And
Lou
then-
Diamond Phillips. I was so excited to see him in this. Side note, he's a really good actor, by the way.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. And okay, but like when you saw them at the end driving off together,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I ship it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of works.
Yeah. Especially since in the beginning he's like, yeah, your super spy person is not a woman.
She slept with everybody. Blah, blah, women
Yeah.
and women. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up, Lou Diamond. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah,
she can put him in his place,
she
and he'll
you know
like
what?
it.
She is this beautiful,
She looks like Princess
Woman.
Jasmine.
yeah, she's like unassuming, like who would think this is a super spy? No, this is tour guide Barbie. You know?
Yeah. I don't
And
know
what-
things. I'm just a girl.
Yeah, it's like the perfect cover.
Especially in like 1961.
Oh yeah. Because women can't be spies.
No way.
Ooh.
So-
Not
correct
without
me if I'm
seeing it
wrong.
there.
She was working with East Germany the whole time, right? But then she was now going to start working for West Germany,
Good lord.
Bless you.
modern. Thank you. Right? That's why she knew things, because she was essentially defecting.
I want to say she was like, I want to say she was like a double agent. Like she made it look like she was working with one, but she was actually feeding information to us. kind of like, okay, I had this weird ass dream one time that this guy joined the Nazis because he was trying to take them down from the inside. I have no idea what he was thinking, but that's what he did in my dream. Maybe he was a time traveler too, and he had good intentions, but that was a dumb move.
Yeah,
So, like, maybe it was something like that.
perhaps. Um, I just wanted to try to understand, make sure I knew the politics of what was going on at that time.
Yeah.
Um, I'd never heard of the word Stasi before. It sounds like it's basically East German KGB, CIA sort of thing, but
Kind of sounds that way.
I'd never heard of it. And I'm not super versed in the history between East and West Germany.
Yeah. And like the whole, I mean, there were so many different things going on at that point in time, with just with Germany, with Russia. You had the whole Cold War going on. There's just too much for my brain to handle.
And I'm
So
not
I
a
don't
history
know.
buff. So,
Yeah, I'm not. And so I don't know if this was like, I don't want to say it was made up for the show.
well,
It's
I did
probably,
look up Nomad and I wasn't getting anything.
well, no, she I think was made up for the show. Like that part was, but I don't know about this spy ring or group or whatever they were
I'm
supposed
sure
to
we had
be.
CIA
Oh, I'm
in
sure.
Egypt and West Germany, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know about East Germany. That'd be pretty difficult, but I guess we had spies in Soviet Union.
Okay, but I did have a question.
Yeah.
When the cover was blown, right?
Hmm.
And then Ben, he goes and he finds Layla and he helps her escape. So
Why didn't they go after him?
yeah, well, like they think that he's with Layla, and it's Hannah actually. Well, they know who he is because
Yeah,
they know. So why didn't they kill him anyway? They're like, hey, you're with you. She may not be with you, but I know you're working with her.
yeah. They knew
What?
he was her partner to some degree.
I don't want
So
to
Yeah.
why did they just like, oh, you're not Layla. See you later, buddy. Like
Like, did they really buy that whole?
the only thing I could think of is I mean they knew he was probably CIA and that it was and he was never the actual target and she was because she was the one
Mm,
double crossing them. That's all I could think of.
Yeah.
Like they could see the repercussions of doing something to him being too high
Yeah.
if they
yeah, we know.
recognized he was CIA. That's
We
my
know
only
how
guess.
America is.
Yeah.
Well, no, he was British. Yeah, but we're friends with the British. They know how America is. They're like, we're not touching that one.
It is the British way.
Yeah. They're British.
But let us stop for tea first. Okay,
So yeah, I
no offense to our British people, okay? I just think that's funny.
I
I
was
love
just
yeah,
tea.
quoting the
I thought the
Muppets.
same thing by the way. I was like, but they still got him. Why do they not care?
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Oh,
was good to see Lou Diamond Phillips, I don't remember his character's name, um, redeem
yeah.
himself after basically Ben called him out on his shit for like basically not seeing the loss of someone like her a tragedy.
Yeah.
Um, a little mini redemption within his bigger story because that's just what Ben does, right? He just fucking saves everyone.
He's like, here's your truth bomb. Do with it what you will. But yeah, I did for well, okay, and I did for a second. I thought he was a bad guy. For a brief second, when Ben thought he failed and he went to Hannah, I'm like, oh, is this bitch gonna do a 180? Is
Oh
she
yeah,
gonna
like what?
double cross him?
Mm-hmm.
I never got that.
I didn't really get the vibe, but I'm like, oh, what if she's not as good as they make us think she is?
Yeah.
But
That didn't cross my mind. I just thought she was desperate and also like Addison pointed out early on, desperate for someone to trust.
Yeah.
That's what I got. But yeah, many ways to have like basically interpreted the mystery part of what was going on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Kira.
Mother, I crave the cheddar. What is she looking at?
Her food.
Oh, oh.
Well, now I don't know. Oh, Lilu's up there. There she goes again.
Oh yeah, she's trying to get it. That's her food bucket she's trying to open.
Wow.
See that? That's the bucket with the cat food in it. Food time
still-
is 40 minutes away.
Yeah, you still got time, Kira.
As you can see, she opened up this cupboard over here too. She was doing that earlier in the episode. You saw me looking back. I was watching her open the cupboard.
Like, just
She's
because
gonna
the
figure
northern
out how to
lights are
flip
up.
that open.
She actually got the blue clip undone.
Did she?
Yep.
Not surprised by that.
That's funny.
She's just trying to figure out how to actually open up the lid now that it's unclipped.
That's why we had to hide Fergus's food, because he figured out how to open it
Mm-hmm.
and get into
Kira.
it. And Bonnie too. Bonnie did too.
Kira, out of there. Come on.
She's like, but it's food. I want my food.
She has.
So
food in
have
her.
we thoroughly covered our thoughts about this episode, I think.
I really liked that hood that Layla had attached to her shirt that time when she first we know that she's like her cover's blown and she like lifts up her hood all cool. I loved
Kind of a shawl.
Yeah, but it was part of her top though. It was like part of it. And that was immediately made me think about Princess Jasmine when she's like in the marketplace pretending
Oh,
to
yeah.
not be a princess. I was like, she looks exactly like her. She's awesome.
Okay, so on that note, why the hell would Princess Jasmine wear something that would identify her as Princess Jasmine?
Yeah.
It's
So
just
that
trying
when
to-
the guards are like, do some acting a fool and she needs to be like, I'm the princess, like she does in the movie, she like puts her hood down real quick. She's like, oh, okay, well that way if she needed to activate privilege mode, she could do it quickly. I kind of get it. Because it was very convenient when she was like, by order of the princess.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, okay.
That's
I get
literally
it.
that's why right there.
Well,
Unhand him. That's what she says. She goes, unhand him by order of the princess.
I would like to see some Blue Diamond Phillips and Layla fan fiction of
Side
them
stories.
just going on super spy missions.
No.
Like, I'd like
Yeah.
to see that.
I'm just looking forward to more Hannah. The
Too.
the dynamic it's made in Leaps is super cool and intriguing.
Yeah. And also, even if it doesn't end up like where she and Ben get together ultimately, if things don't play out that way and he finds a way to get back romantically with Addison again, I could still see her still being part of the team and wanting to be helpful to them anyway, like being supportive and recognizing the greater good. And like, I think she ultimately cares more about the mission and the ways that the world is being helped and improved than about her own feelings. Like that
I
much
mean,
is
if that
clear.
weren't true, she wouldn't help Ben really because
Right.
helping him gets rid of him.
Yeah. And that's like
True.
she's proven time and again that she cares more about doing the right thing than about doing the selfish thing. And so even if it turns out that for sure like he's not going to be with her, he loves Addison and that's his choice, like she's still going to be a valuable asset to their mission and I could still be part of their team
But
ultimately.
joining DARPA and writing a special physics project that gets Ben home is doing the right thing and helping herself and him.
Well,
And
she doesn't know that it's also kind of not helping her though.
Well, we don't know.
but
We don't know.
Well, I mean, she doesn't know that
Did-
is my point. She doesn't know that Addison is He doesn't know. She doesn't know what the conflict is.
Oh yeah, well
No.
that's gonna come up. If she's in more
Well,
episode,
It'll come up.
it'll come
But
up. That's gonna
did
be the
Ben
conflict between them.
did Ben leave her with a little Ben?
Did they bone? I didn't think they
I don't
boned.
think they did.
I
don't
think they
think they did.
boned.
I
Not
don't.
when he came back to
Oh.
her and he told her that he failed and she was talking about him staying and everything. I think they boned.
I questioned it, but I edged closer to that they didn't. But I did
just want
question
you
it
to
too.
I
think.
feel like they would have made it clear because I think that would have been a bigger deal.
Or maybe they didn't want to make it clear so it can go either way in the future and they haven't decided yet. So we might find out later whether or not that was a bone night or not.
Bone night. Andrew, you are about to hear that food.
Oh
bucket
my
tip
gosh. Oh
over.
my god, she's in.
Yep, she's in.
She's
Oh,
in.
she's been.
Oh,
there it goes.
oh,
Go get it. Go get it. Go get it.
Oh my god, this has got to go on YouTube.
Kira.
And I think it will go on YouTube because it looks like my recording froze.
Oh no.
I don't know. It might be okay, but I don't know.
Kira, you're gonna get food in 30 minutes.
She's gonna get in there. You don't let her do that because she's gonna chew on the bag. And by
Hey.
chew on, I mean take a bite out of the bag. She's so proud of herself. She's like, I'll do it again. I'm gonna do it again.
I put the blue clip against the wall this time.
She's-
All I'm
oh, look,
doing is teaching her more because she'll just figure it out again.
she'll be like, okay, so now I gotta turn it.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right. Well, it was a great episode.
Oh, yeah.
It was exciting. It was passionate. Leaves me yearning more.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for the return on the 30th.
That is a Tuesday.
Yeah, moving to
It looks like
Tuesdays, like you said.
just like the original. It looks like we're gonna be swapping nights here and there all the time.
Monday was better, but Tuesday is better than Wednesday, in my opinion.
Yeah, Wednesday's a little hard for me.
I also think that because it's a midday, it's the middle of the week day, there's more high profile stuff that we have to compete with.
Yeah.
Tuesday's slightly more dead, which I guess you could read into that and be like, uh-oh, do they think it's gonna die? But I see it as a good thing because there's less competition.
And also, I don't get worried until you get moved to the Friday night death slot.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine.
So I would also like to see statistics on how many people watch it on the day and how many people stream.
Yeah, I
That'd
know
be good to know.
from what I've seen, like in a couple articles I read, it looks like the audience is doing well. I don't know what the ratio is from
Mhm.
live to streamers or DVR, anything like that. So, but it is
Well,
up there. It's doing good.
I'm excited for Comic or WonderCon. I hope we see something.
I need to go. I need to find tickets this year.
Okay, honey. I'll get you food in a minute. Do we have any things to plug?
I'm just going to be putting the Quantum Leap podcast tribute link. I'm not sure if the GoFundMe is still going or not, but if it's still going, I will also put that in the show notes as well.
Cool. And with that, we have our question of the week. I think I read it last time.
I don't remember.
If you were stuck in the past, what would you do?
3 words: Google, Amazon, Bitcoin. I would just bide my time and be early adopter of all those things.
Yeah, I mean,
That's smart.
do stuff that's gonna get me money and help out all the people in my life. Like, but also, I'm just kind of vague, like stuck in the past, like just anywhere, like how far in the past? In my own past? Or like in the situation that Ben is almost in here, where like you're stuck in another like decade
Look, I
altogether.
have a rudimentary knowledge of the last 100 years worth of companies. Depending on where I landed, I would know what to invest in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
If
true.
it's the late 70s, fucking Nintendo.
Right? Right? I know Hannah and Ben talked a lot, she's like, oh, you can do this and you can do that. And I'm like, I think I would just lie low. Just make a quiet life. Maybe invest in some shit so my family will be set up for the rest of their lives. But I don't think I'd want to make too much of a wave in the time space continuum or space time continuum, whatever. It's past my
Trying to
bedtime.
do too much will land you in a loony bin anyway.
Yes, exactly.
You
It's
can,
like
can you can convince a person like Hannah that you're a time traveler. You can never convince the masses. Will
they
never
will
happen.
burn you at the stake,
Pretty much.
especially if you do CPR on someone in the 1800s.
Yeah. Sydney,
Yeah. Sorry. What's up?
did you have an answer?
Yeah, I already said money.
Money.
Oh,
Whatever's
money.
gonna get me money.
What would you do? Money.
Money.
Like,
I
I mean,
do
your same
money.
answer. Like, invest in, find a way to capitalize on my future knowledge and get rich as hell, and then use that new money to like help out the people in my life in the future, like that, so that they don't have to necessarily struggle. Even though, well, I don't want to butterfly effect it too hard, though, is the thing.
Yeah,
Because
because
if you
Yeah,
like,
if future you is born with a silver spoon in her mouth, she might become a bitch.
listen, wow, that's dramatic. Good Lord. Wow. You're saying that's the line between me being who I am and me being
I'm not saying
a
that. I'm
bitch
saying
is
you could.
you might not even be
Good
born.
Lord.
Like say Andrew invested in some company and like your great grandfather got super rich. Well, and then he married someone else instead of your great grandmother.
Yeah.
You never exist. You like killed out an entire
Yeah.
branch of that family tree.
Don't want to biff 10 in that shit.
No. Well, as best as I could do without butterfly biffing too hard.
Hey, you're gonna bug me too now? What?
You know what you could do? You could invest, but make it in a way so your family can't touch it
Mhm.
until after everything else has played
Oh,
Yeah.
out.
no. Yes to that. But also, the first thing I would do with all my money is go see a bunch of concerts of all of the performers that I know are going to die later on in my lifetime that I never got to
Yes,
see.
Hmm.
Like, I'm going to go see a bunch of David Bowie shows and like
absolutely.
Prince, Led Zeppelin.
I'm going to not sell my 2009 Quantum Leap convention ticket because I won't need the money. Yeah, I just sell because I had
Oh,
to pay a bill, so I
Wow.
didn't get to go. So I'm gonna meet Dean Stockwell before he died.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be my thing.
Well, that's that about that.
so we're all selfish.
Yeah,
Listen, no, what? Said I would help people. I just
You are
gotta be
true.
careful
myself.
You're
about.
right.
Just gotta be careful about it.
Listen,
Here,
I would have no problem trying to use my position to help people, but the events that are super impactful, how could I do anything to prevent? Like, how could I prevent 9/11? How could I? Well, I guess I could prevent the Oklahoma City bombing by like tipping tipping them
Well,
off.
this is gonna open the whole conversation about the like. This is the whole baby Hitler thing, right? That
Yeah.
everybody
yeah,
circles back to, which is why I think ultimately, Magic's advice about doing what you can for your present right now and
Mhm.
looking ahead, and like that's why the subject of so much excellent fiction is how looking to the past and trying to change it literally drives people insane. and
Well, what I was going to
can't live
continue
like
on
that.
saying though, like the smaller things, like how Ben does, I I wouldn't have any knowledge to actually do anything other than anyone else that's in the same situation in that present because I wouldn't have a Ziggy.
Well, and then also there was a Fantastic Four comic that touched on time travel where you try to change major events, like, and it said, like, Reed was telling somebody, I don't remember who now, it's been so long. He said, say you went back and you decided you were going to save Abraham Lincoln, but it was Abraham Lincoln's destiny to die. So maybe you save him from the gunshot, but because he was supposed to die, tomorrow he slips and falls in the bathtub. Like, if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen, like, no matter what. So, yeah, what if you did go prevent 9/11, but
LA gets attacked instead.
yeah, like something, it still happens, maybe in a different way, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was an interesting take on it.
And then, like I said, like the smaller things, like how Ben works on, without a Ziggy, I would be just as useless as any other bystander.
Yeah, it's like,
like,
what if you're helping the wrong person?
yeah. So
You know,
I'll help the people I love with the money I can get from the knowledge I have.
yep, absolutely.
All right, Christina, we're gonna get you to bed in time.
Woohoo! I got Tai Chi tomorrow, so I got to get up at like 6:30 in the morning.
And she's
Ew.
tight.
Tight.
Not ew to Tai Chi, but ew to 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hate waking up that early, but it used to be I would get up at 7. No, I would get up at 8 because I have to be there till 9, but now I got to be there at 8. And I don't get out till like 11.
Wah, wah.
I do enjoy it, but I'm really tired on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So
All right, guys. Well, it was fun talking and theorizing and having the epiphany that I had this week.
I am interested to see if that's what happens.
Yeah, me too. That would be so cool if I was right.
Right.
Again, go check out Matt's tribute. It'll be in the show notes. Christina will add. And we'll see you guys all next time.
Bye.
So, what did you think of today's show? Send us a message on Anchor or find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at PQL Podcast. Links will be provided in the show notes.
Show us some love. Follow and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a rating in your favorite podcast app. You can also help support the podcast by visiting either our Anchor support page or PayPal link in the show notes. All supporters will get a special mention at the end of our episode, and we're working on new and exciting perks to bring you in the future.